Hi everyone, it's Monday night, the 6th of July, and day 188 of Living the Dream. Here's what I wrote for my power statement for today. I will hit the ground running and finish up all the remaining tasks on the list for getting ready to run the focus group ad. And then if there's time, I will record the video for the ad. Well, let me show you my to-do list for Wednesday right here. Had 3 yellow ones: my fun task, my exciting task, and most important task: do the accounts, check the mail. Anyhow, I got it all done. Bam, done. Let me just tell you about it though, because there are a few things I want to mention. My first fun task for today was to look over episode 4's script one last time and do any fine tuning that I want for the recording of it. This was one of the remaining tasks left on the remaining task list that I had to do before I could do the focus group ad. Next was my exciting task and my most important task. I combined those two because the same task I did for the exciting and important task. And that was to record episode 4's Going to the Movies podcast. I'm doing this episode before I run the focus group ad, and that's because this podcast is going to be the free gift I'm providing all of those folks who fill out my focus group participant invite form. I'm hoping it will incentivize them to want to participate in the focus group and give me their name and email address to build up in my acquaintance bucket. But if it doesn't, they're still going to be able to listen to that podcast as a gift from me. At least I think it's an important gift. We'll see. Anyway, I was able to record the podcast just before the day ended today, but after listening to it, I didn't like the way I said some things, and so I thought I could do better. And so tomorrow, I ran out of time, so tomorrow I will listen to it and type and make those few changes that I want to make, and then I'm going to record it, and then I'll play a portion of it to you for tomorrow night. I really enjoyed writing both the Going to the Movies podcast script as well as the focus group video ad script, and I think that they're both going to be effective for doing what it is I designed them to do. But I may have to tweak them a little bit because you tweak on the Facebook thing. You don't get it right out of the chute often. Well, I hope I do well and don't have to do too many tweaks, but we'll see how it goes. Next, Corey says, get honest with yourself. What didn't go well today, Marty, or what could you have done better? Well, I woke up early and I started strong. Done. I did my morning routine, so it gave me the power of my morning. Were you productive throughout your day? Yes, I started strong. I stayed strong. I'm ending tonight strong, doing this success routine tonight. Did you get the most important things done? I got some pieces through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical. So yes, I moved my goals forward too. Did you show up as the person you wanted to? I did. Now, how about being present for Kathleen and your personal time with her? We had a wonderful evening tonight. In summary, I have to say that get honest with yourself questions are important to go through these. And then I like to ask myself, were you honest with yourself today about your task? In other words, did you keep your commitments and promises you made to yourself this morning? Well, like my power statement said, I hit the ground running this morning. I was so excited to get up to my office and pound out the last run through of this episode 4 scripts. There was a few little tweaking I needed to do before I could record it. And like I said, I was able to record it before the day ended, but I will put the finishing touches on it tomorrow and even add the little beginning and ending music to it. So yes, I kept the promises I made to myself this morning. So once again, promises made, promises kept. The next question is, what movies did you watch in your mind today? Marty, did you make the time for them? And were there any new movies that you saw on the screen of your mind or the Two Amigos brought to you? And if so, what were they about? Well, I watched my must-see TV favorite 5 movies one at a time during my mindfulness time this morning. I envisioned each pre-played movie as though it was already happening. Afterwards, I felt even more excited because like I said, on my Going to the Movies podcast, these are visual affirmations that I'm imagining every morning over and over and over again. And everything is manifesting into the portal of my mind and then out into the world of the physical, piece by piece by piece. It's so exciting. Next, Croy asked, was there anything that didn't go well today, Marty? In other words, was there one thing you could have done better? What's that one thing that would make all the difference going forward? And another way to say it is, what's the one thing you'd want to get done tomorrow, even if the day goes sideways doing it, but you'd still feel like you've accomplished some great things? What would that one thing be? And once you've decided what that is, turn it into a power statement so you can start your day strong tomorrow. Well, I have to say that every time I do a recording that takes several minutes, this one was almost 18, 19 minutes long, of nonstop talking, I struggle with trying to be as perfect as they can be. And today was no different. I had to start over and over and over again. I didn't count how many times, but I'm sure it was a lot. But I was able to finally get through it. And like I said, after listening to it, I knew there were some things that I needed to fix on it, which I'll do tomorrow. And so my power statement for tomorrow says this: I will fix the script and then re-record Going to the Movies podcast. Man, I'm excited about doing that so I can done. I'm very pleased with how this particular Mindset is Everything episode is going and what it's going to sound like once it's all finished. Going to the Movies, I feel, is going to be my beginner entrepreneur's favorite podcast. But we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But at least for me, it just is such a fantastic tool of success. Croy's next question says, were there any mistakes or failures I had or that I made today that I could turn into a tool of success going forward? Of course, I made some many mistakes today because I was recording myself. That's what happens when you record yourself saying stuff and you're human and not a robot. It's just what happens. However, I do feel that I'm getting better and better and better at it, and I have much more confidence in myself now after all the recordings and talking steadily for a long time that I've been doing of late. And so the tool of success I already talked about that I used today was don't be too hard on yourself. It sure came in handy once again. In other words, we all need to be compassionate towards ourselves when we make mistakes. We just need to pick ourselves up, dust off, and get after it again until the task is done. Croy also says to ask ourselves, what was your biggest success today, Marty? In other words, what did you do well today? Well, as I thought about it, my great success today, I think, was not only refining the script that came to me through the portal of my mind by the two amigos, but also recognizing it needed to be tweaked and then recording it tomorrow again. That's important. It's always a big success when I get a project like this to come through the portal of my mind and into the world of the physical after I refined it and I feel great about it. Bam, done. So it's another huge piece of my coaching dream that's now in the world of the physical. Bam, done. The next step that I do each night, which is part of my end of the day routine for success, is to rate my day's effort. And so I gave today a 9. I say 9 because I not only worked at the speed of 9, I also was very effective in doing the tasks on my list of to-dos today. And I feel great about it. I really feel like I've accomplished a lot today. Okay, I want to end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for my electric the garage door opener. I say this because in coming home from running an errand today, I clicked on my garage door opener and my garage door opened up so I could drive right into my garage and park my car in out of the heat. As I drove in, a thought came to my mind though. I remembered that a few months ago our garage door opener and motor that runs it was having a problem, so we called in a tech to come and get it fixed. It took several days before the repairman could come and fix it, and so not having that garage door open like it did automatically was a real pain for those days. Man, I was glad when I had it all fixed and it worked. Click, click. What a blessing. Next, I'm grateful for the law of conditioning. Parents, caregivers, teachers, and society in general each have a huge influence on how we choose to live our lives. That's why people traveling to other countries often experience culture shock. The different rules, the different customs, and different attitudes can quickly lead to a feeling of confusion and alienation. You may have experienced this yourself as you've traveled. But when we experience culture shock, it really just shows how conditioned we are by our local customs and culture. This is something you may not have considered before. I would urge you to do that. It's possible that you're living the life that your parents, teachers, and society wants you to live, rather than the life you want and would love to live yourself. You are are you ready to break free from this conditioning? If you are, then you're at the right place at the right time, because I'm going to share with you 5 wonderful success tools that will allow you to escape your mental prison that your past conditioning has made for you. First is the benefits of what I call a confident attitude. Generosity and a humble attitude are wonderful traits to have, yet being humble can actually hinder you from reaching your goals. Let me explain. If when working in a team you take on tasks beyond the scenes or behind the scenes, your work may not even be noticed, which means you won't actually get the credit you deserve. It's a sad fact of life, but if your efforts aren't recognized, you'll be forgotten when opportunities come and you'll be passed by. And if you often play the role of, I'm not good enough to do XYZ, then you need to stop that thinking right now. Starting right now, if you change your attitude about your own abilities and start focusing in on your strengths and improving on or delegating out your weaknesses, then you'll massively boost your confidence, which will translate into you achieving your goals. That's the fact. So be sure to speak up about what you've accomplished. It's the time for a Bengay attack. That's when it is, when no one else is going to do it. You know what a Bengay attack is you put Bengay on your hair and then you pat yourself on the back to wipe that up. That's a Bengay attack, giving yourself a pat on the back. If you do this, I guarantee you that your confidence attitude will work wonders for you. Number 2, say goodbye to limitations. Do you often go through life thinking you're not smart enough or disciplined enough? And how about time? Do you frequently feel that you don't have enough time to get all done that you want to get done and need to get done? I certainly have felt that way in the past. Fortunately, over the years, I've been able to discover and put into action dynamic success tools that have allowed me to break free from my limitations, especially those mental ones. Positive self-talk and affirmations, as well as exercising the habit of going to the movies, are 2 examples of the kind of success tools I'm talking about. These are simple yet powerful tools for stepping outside of your conditioned and habitual mental mapping, your thought patterns. What exactly is self-talk or affirmations and mapping, you say? Well, it's the words you externally and internally tell yourself day to day. There's my little message. I love that. Every time when I want to remind things, that tells me about it, and it did right here. Anyhow, they tell yourself over and over again. Well, guess what? With those attitudes and negative mapping permeating your mindset, you probably won't be good enough. But just as negative thoughts can lead to negative results, positive thoughts can lead to positive results. Using the example above, by changing the words to, I am a good enough person, I am good enough to do this. Watch your positive self-talk, your positive affirmation, and your positive mapping boost your mindset's confidence. It can now give you the strength and courage to say goodbye to those limitations, especially your mental limitations. Third is to motivate yourself to achieve anything. Do you fear change? Would you love to make that big career change, but you're afraid that it'll end up in failure? Would you love to ask out that special person on a date, but you fear they'll say no to you? Would you love to move to the coast, but you're scared to leave behind your habitual environment? Does any of this sound familiar to you? I'm guessing it does, and that's because fear of change is probably the most common thing that prevents people from reaching their potential and doing the things that they'd love to do. The secret to defeating fear of change is to understand that if we want to change our lives for the better, we need to make changes in our lives. Without changes, nothing changes. It's that simple. In reality, fear of change is really just fear of the unknown. Now, I realize the unknown can be a scary place. It certainly can. But it doesn't have to be. Again, it comes down to our attitude and perspective. If we approach the unknown in excited anticipation, we'll no longer be afraid of it. And its power over us will be gone forever. That's called a thought change. With that simple change of mindset, you can put your fears in the past and start living a life that embraces and welcomes change and opportunity, an authentic and free life. Number 4, go to the movies in your mind. Did you know that the majority of us think in pictures, or what I call movie clips? That's right. While we make speak and write in words, our brain turns these things into pictures. Just think back to some of your most important memories, perhaps your first kiss, your graduation day, or the birth of your first child. Do words and sentences come to mind? Likely not. Instead, it's vivid images of those events that you've experienced. And not just still images, not just pictures, but moving pictures that are equivalent to video movies. Once you understand the mind functions with pictures, then the key to changing your mind and your life is to change the pictures, those movies that you put into your mind about your future. For instance, if you constantly picture yourself stuck in the same job, then you'll probably end up doing that the rest of your life. But if you make a concerted and persistent effort to picture yourself in a new, stimulating role, then that's where you'll end up, more than likely. You may know this tool of success as visualization. And along with the other tools of success that I'm talking about and that I teach my beginner entrepreneur clients, this is a powerful piece of the success puzzle. So if you haven't been going to the movies, then I suggest that you start now by creating a clear, definitive movie of where you'd like to be in 12 months. Once you have a movie produced and then you pre-play it daily, repetitively in your mind over and over again, that way it will be laid down firmly into your subconscious mind and become a mindset. It often takes at least 30 days to get it done, but that's not very long. As you do this, watch your mental images gradually come through the portal of your mind and into the world of the physical. That's called reality. Fifth, your setbacks and obstacles can be opportunities. I've talked about this law of failure a lot. I want you to pause for a moment and think about the last few days. I guarantee that along with the good stuff, there were several times when you had to face setbacks and obstacles. Things like being stuck in traffic, a missed deadline at work, oh my goodness, a health challenge, a relationship issue, that happens a lot, and an unexpected bill landing in your mailbox. This is perfectly normal. We all go through similar things that come to us, to those that, like those I just mentioned, and we face them on a regular basis, don't we? But the difference between those who fail to achieve their dreams and those who do lies in the fact that some people are defeated by these setbacks, while others are propelled forward by them. Let me explain with a quick example. Let's say you're on your way to an interview for an important job, a job you've always wanted. You allow plenty of time for walking to the train station, taking the train 3 stops, and then catching a cab to the office where the interview is scheduled to take place. So far, your walk goes just fine, but when you get to the station, you discover something shocking. All the trains have been canceled. Oh my goodness. Now you can choose to panic or perhaps call the company to cancel or to delay the interview. Or, and that's a big or, you can think creatively. The job is what you've always wanted to do, so you don't want to miss the interview or allow the company to see you as in a negative light. You think for a few moments and then decide upon a strategy, a plan. You'll pay the hefty fare for a cab to take you all the way. The taxi driver is chatty, and he asks you what's the purpose of your visit. You tell him about your interview, and he replies with something surprising. He's a friend of one of the people who will be interviewing you. He goes on to talk about how nice they are and how you'll get on really well with them. In fact, he puts you he makes you feel at ease, that you begin to feel like you're already part of the team. You arrive early for the interview, and with the unexpected but welcome support from your taxi driver friend, the interview goes super smoothly. And a few days later, you're thrilled to receive a call asking you, when can you start? Now then, did the taxi driver put it in a good word for you? Perhaps, as that's the sort of thing that happens when you refuse to bow down to setbacks and obstacles. I hope the success tools that make up the law of conditioning, which I've outlined here, will help you begin to break free from your limitations and to begin breaking out of your mental prison. Start now to build your confidence and embrace change. Embrace it. And most importantly, picture your success in all its glorious detail as though you're already there experiencing it, so you can live the life you've always dreamed of. Next, I'm grateful for what Robert Kiyosaki said about this. He said, "Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning." That's a fantastic thought. I sure think so anyway. I hope you're noticing that all of these highly successful people whose quotes I've been sharing with you over the last several days have acquired their success mindset by developing their minds through right thinking, which is another key to living the dream. Developing your mindset with a success learning mental attitude will direct the power of momentum your way and will increase your desire even more for more success. And I think that's what the win the morning, win the day success routine is all about. So there you go. I'm going to end the day on that thought. Tomorrow night I'll be right back here at my laptop recording another entry for my journey to business alignment. And until then, I wish all of you continued success. Good night.